In this video, I'm going to be sharing my opinion on cheap versus expensive synthetic diesel oils, which I would choose based on my recent test of Shell and AMSOIL, and what I'll be running moving forward. So this video is going to function as a bit of a follow-up to the AMSOIL versus Rotella video I did with Lake, because in that video we did a lot of data analysis and we weren't super direct with a opinion or recommendation on which was better. And obviously they're so close when it comes to the wear, and there's so many pros and cons that it's like at the end of the day it gets down to really just opinion. And so, obviously there was a clear winner in terms of wear. AMSOIL gets you lower wear, but from a specific price point, Rotella is definitely the winner if you're just looking for a very solid budget oil, which is crazy because Rotella isn't even really a budget oil. It's really good, but it just comes in at a very good price point. I mean, doing an oil change in one of these trucks for $112 is it's pretty good, and that includes the price of the filter. So I just want to talk about what my personal opinion is. Now, I am not speaking for Lake Speed Jr., the motor oil geek. He probably has his own opinion on oils. He likes to keep things very science-based. I, from like an owner-operator perspective, just wanted to talk about this with you briefly because a lot of people were like, well, which is it? Which is better? Can you give us a definitive? And this is my definitive opinion, but it is my opinion based on all the testing that I've done. And I feel like now that I've done so much testing, I actually have an opinion that's built on enough research that I can share it and feel good about it. So that's what we're gonna do. So between those two oils, a cheap synthetic or an expensive synthetic, which am I choosing? I'm gonna go the cheap synthetic. And it's not that I don't like AMSOIL. I run some of their other fluids like gear oil and stuff like that. And I just don't, and this is where I think people get hung up, like a 5 to 10 parts per million difference in wear, to me, is not significant enough to justify spending for AMSOIL. That's just it. If you want the best of the best, and if you're pushing super hard and you just want good stuff, AMSOIL is great, but you have to order it online or you have to find one of their dealers. You can't, it's not like readily available like Rotella is. And it's just more expensive, period. And I don't think that level of wear is worth it, Like, it'd be one thing if there was like 100 parts per million total metal difference between the two. But it's like 10 or 15 maybe, And is that worth it? No. I mean, in my opinion, no. It might be to you, but no. And so, it's great. I think, again, like, they make great stuff, holds up well, but like the average person, unless you're a hotshot guy and you're driving, 20, 30,000 miles, I think it's just not worth it. And it's not worth it to me. So I think when I finish my oil testing series, which, I mean, there's so many oils out there, it's going to be a while, I will end up on a cheaper synthetic oil, that still gives me good wear, that I can run out to 15,000 mile intervals. And that's just what I'm going to do, find something that I can get in a store. I really like, because I'm currently running Valvoline Platinum Blue 5W40, and I really like it, but that's also harder to find. You can't always get it at an auto parts store. And so, again, Rotella is everywhere, T6. And so, again, this is just my opinion. And I think a lot of people get wrapped around the axle. It's like, well, the AMSOIL had a lower wear rate at higher miles, so it's better. And yes, it is better. But that data to me isn't significant enough to make me want to spend more money for it. And I think that's what is kind of hard, if you're like an absolutist, which is totally fine, and you're like, no, I just want the best, I need best wear, I don't care how much it costs, AMSOIL is your friend. But that's not really what I'm into. I like going out and spending like 112 or 115 bucks on my oil change supplies, doing it in the driveway, and then knowing that my engine is protected and I can run it hard and it will be totally fine. That's just how it is. And I ran AMSOIL for a long time, and I did like 5,000 mile oil changes with AMSOIL Signature Series, and I feel like kind of an idiot because I was dumping out really expensive oil every 5,000 miles, or sooner sometimes, and I just really didn't need to be doing that. But if I would say pick an oil that's accessible to you, that gets your truck within spec for wear, and that you like, and that you like paying for. There is a fair amount of subjectiveness that goes into this. Like some people say, oh, when I put this oil in my truck, I can feel that it runs smooth or whatever, which might be total placebo, but you don't know. And that's where it's your money. You can do what you want with. And I really try on this channel to not be dogmatic and be like, you have to do this, because you really don't have to do anything. You can do whatever you want. I just want to provide the data, but this video is more of an opinion. And I think like synthetic oils have come such a long way. Maybe 20, 25 years ago, AMSOIL was like the greatest ever. And I don't even know if they were around 25 years ago. They probably were. But, I think synthetic oils have come such a long way now that you don't need to spend for a ridiculously premium oil unless you want to. Because I think the good enough cheap synthetic oils, and Rotella isn't even that, like, I don't even consider it like a cheapo oil, still work great. And they get you good wear. I think that's the thing. Your wear is in spec, and you don't have to have like, a minuscule amount of wear. Like your engine's going to wear some, right? And like 23 parts per million is such a small number. It's so small. And I think it's easy to see that and again go to like, well, yeah, AMSOIL from an absolute sense has less engine wear, so it's good. Right? But like in the grand scheme of things, like you're talking about, a 10 parts per million difference. Like that's like nothing. So decide what you want from this. Again, my opinion is going to be to run the Rotella T6 in my truck, do a couple oil analyses on it, make sure the truck likes it, and then run it at that change interval and be done. And just, what's the saying? Keep it simple, stupid. It's just, and just all these tests too. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it's like with YouTube, I think it gets to the point of paralysis analysis, where as a consumer, there's just so many people analyzing all these things, and now there's all the lab testing available, and you can just dig yourself into this giant hole. So find what you like, find what your truck likes to run, do a couple tests, be done with it, change it, just be done, but that's what I'm going to say. For me, the winner of that test was Shell Rotella, from a availability standpoint, cost standpoint, wear standpoint, it's almost half the cost of AMSOIL, and, it wears a little bit more, but I don't think that's worth spending double. I just don't, personally. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you being here. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And for me, Shell Rotella 1, cheap synthetics, I think, are the way to go. We will see how the Valvoline turns out, but I'm stoked to get that out there. Be sure to stick around because I am still going to be testing oils. We got Valvoline Platinum Blue 5W40 on the docket, and then we're going to move to something else. I might do Schaefer's, maybe the Hot Shots oil, but that stuff kind of scares me. So anyway, we'll see you next time here on Power Stroke Maintenance. Cheers.